My lady, that's the moment that everything changed. I thought that there was a burglar that was gaining entry into my home. I was just overcome with fear and I started screaming and shouting for the burglar or the intruders to get out of my house. The thing that ran through my mind was that I needed to arm myself, that I needed to protect Reeva and I, that I needed to get my gun.
Oscar Pistorius shot 4 times into a door, killing his girlfriend Reeva Steenkamp. He claims his life was in danger. It's a defence that's renewed debate about the links between violence, race and inequality in a society that has one of the highest crime rates in the world. As you drive from the city centre to the affluent suburbs, it's clear the country is still deeply unequal and divided, and people live in fear behind high walls and security guards. Hello, how are you?
Okay, can you sign for me?
Certainly will. Have a nice day.
Thank you, bye.
I've been invited into a gated community to hear why 24-hour protection, electric fences and automated shutters are a normal part of everyday living.
I think if you don't live in an element of fear, I think you're being naive. My grandmother, who was roughly 86 years old, was raped and murdered at the age of 86. When I decided to come back to South Africa as having been an expat from offshore, I took a fundamental decision, but I think the key driver behind that decision, if I put it like that, was simply, security. You want to sleep well at night.
Rob's neighbour moved to this gated community after they were robbed at gunpoint. But even here, they feel a need to keep their guns close.
There's a shotgun here, and then I have a pistol here, and of course, I have ammunition inside and also outside of the safe for in case of emergency. I realized what was up, and it was basically an armed person with a gun against my wife's head. It was a no decision, or an easy decision, a 5-minute decision for the family to move into a gated area.
If you think you can drive around here and not look over your shoulder every 5 to 10 minutes and watch out and see if somebody's actually following you, something's going to happen. At some point, something will happen.
You guys into Nazi? Yeah.
When you hear traumatic stories like these, it's easy to understand why people choose to live in a virtual fortress.
I think the fear of crime in South Africa is a very legitimate fear. The facts absolutely support that. Media reports on the brutality of some of these attacks support this fear.
Wait, Oscar, how do you feel the trial's going?
But does that fear tap into something deeper?
Upon or about 14 February 2013, and at on here...
The subtext of the Oscar Pistorius case, according to Margie Orford, is white South Africans' fear of black crime.
It is the threatening body, nameless and faceless, of an armed and dangerous black intruder. It's so clear that his claim to fear was baseless. So what was it then? It's something in all of us, in all white people. We need to look at it. We need to unpack it.
These two boys are cousins and they're literally thick as thieves. At 19, they've already lost count of how many houses they've robbed together. It's estimated half of the population lives below the poverty line. 70% of those under 35 are out of work, like Ben and Ben.
Me, when I look forward and see these houses, I see like these guys are rich, they have everything that we need. You see, if we can go inside here, maybe we might get a safe or something. When I see these guys, I just see money. You have to know those places, you have to know those angles, you have to know which side the security guards are, you know, where the dogs are. You have to know which side motion sensors are, you know, things like that. The alarm, make sure you don't trigger it. Where I'm from, there's no food at the house. My mother cries all the time. Why can't you find a job? I try to get a decent job, but I can't, you know, I can't, you know, because whenever I try to get a decent job, these people, they want so many things. They want IDs, they want certificates. I don't have any of those.
The two Bens have broken into gated communities, but confess the focus of their crime is actually in their own township.
I say if I keep committing crimes, I know something bad is gonna happen.
In reality, most gated communities experience very low crime rates, including the one where Oscar Pistorius lived. And yet the fear of home invasions is the greatest concern among South Africans.
Generally, people are not so much afraid of murder as such. You know, to be attacked by armed intruders and you are helpless. You have to rely on the goodwill of these criminals to survive the attack and for your family not to be seriously harmed. So that, I think, is the biggest fear of people in South Africa, generally speaking.
Okay.
Pistorius used a 9mm, similar to this, to shoot and kill his girlfriend Reeva. It's not easy to buy a gun in South Africa. You need certification, and you can't get a licence unless you own a house or business. But there are plenty available on the black market, and a lot of guns used in home invasions are stolen in break-ins.
When you go into the houses, it's also possible that the person in the house will have a gun.
Have a gun, exactly. And those are the kind of places we find guns, you know, in houses. When you break into someone's house, if you're with your friends, you're going somewhere and you have a gun, you just feel like you're the boss, you know. You could do anything you want with a gun, you know. You could even rob someone daylight in front of people watching, you know. They won't do a thing because you have a gun.
Do you have an extended life?
There are strict rules in South Africa governing the way guns are used, rules that have been raised in the Oscar Pistorius trial.
You can only legitimately shoot at someone if they are attacking you and they are armed. Very strict rules around self-defense, which Pistorius knew. He'd done his gun license testing, he knew that. It's been very interesting to me that he's finally been sent for psychiatric assessment, because whatever the motivation, the fear or the rage, that to me was indicative of a severely disturbed way of relating to the world. What was even more disturbing is that the bulk of South Africans, particularly white South Africans, thought that response was normal.
The social and economic reasons for crime in South Africa will be difficult to untangle. The court will decide whether Reeva Steenkamp was killed in a tragic accident or murdered in an angry rage.